You're on WGR. Thanks for calling.
Hey, guys. Love the show. Draft is like a annual tradition for me. Quick question or comment that I'd love to hear from you guys. I saw recently that Albert Breer dropped some news that Jameson Williams, receiver from the Lions, might be available for a trade on draft night. Kind of seems to fit the bill perfectly for what we're kind of looking for that kind of tier of receiver. Just want to get your thoughts and maybe what you might be willing to trade to get him. Thanks, guys. Go Bills.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. He's an intriguing player to me for sure. His skill set, absolutely. Well, yeah, I think it matches what I'm looking. I mean, it's speed and lightning, and there's some run after catch there, but there's certainly get down the field there. Yeah, I love this player. Loved him coming out of college. I didn't even think it was ridiculous that they drafted him as highly as they did coming off an ACL. That's how good that's how good he was thought to be, and I think it is. But what is he not? He's not a number one. And why would the Lions be considering moving off of him? Well, it's contract time, right? I mean, that is always the fulcrum of any one of these situations. I shouldn't say anyone. Almost always, it's the flashpoint. So Amon-Ra St. Brown's their number one receiver, and it's time to pay up. And, can we keep everything? We got, Jahmyr Gibbs to pay. Speaking of second running back contracts, maybe he's an exception-worthy candidate. I don't know. But they don't want it. They're balking at paying that second contract. Spotrac has his second contract, his market value around $20 million a year. So you're not at the top of the market. I mean, that is not number one money at all anymore in the league. Number one money is 30 and beyond at this point. So, can you live with paying that receiver that money? I could. Could you find your way to structuring the deal in such a way that you can make it work short term? Sure. What am I willing to give up? Well, I want to say a third would be the perfect sweet spot here. Sort of how Evan Silva was talking as we came into the segment. He was talking about James Cook, but the point is the same. You've heard it made already numerous times by me just today and over the years. You're trading for a player looking for a new contract. That lessens how much you have to pay in assets. So I want to say a third. The Bills don't have a third. So I'm not sure where to go from there. I think I'd be reluctant to give up one of my seconds for him and then pay him. So I just don't think I should have to do that to get the player. I mean, I have the pick, and you could argue that's a good use of a second. He's only 24 years old. It's a very good use of a pick. What are some potential problems? This is a guy who is yet to play an entire season in the league, and that's not all the injury. I mean, he was drafted with the injury and didn't play until the very end of the 22 season, his draft year. So that was the ACL. In 23, he was suspended for gambling, missed 4 games. That happened in April, so he missed the first 4 games, and actually it was supposed to be longer than that. It was 6 games, but it got lifted and reduced. It was only 4 games, 2 weeks shorter than originally thought to be. So there's your miss there. Last year, it was PEDs that cost him 2 games. So he's been healthy. What he hasn't been is always available, and it's been through his own lack of maturity. However you want to look at that. I mean, the gambling thing just always blows my mind. That guys could get wrapped up. I mean, I believe me, I recognize the allure of gambling, but when you're an NFL player or a pro athlete of any kind, know what you can and can't do. And the same goes for the PED thing, too. It's another guy. I mean, he's clean now. I mean, I don't have to worry about it. But, the Bills just signed 2 guys, one of whom they knew had a looming 6-game PED suspension. The other they didn't know, but still followed through with the signing. I'm talking about Michael Hoyt and Larry Ogunjobi, of course, from free agency. That's not a reason why you wouldn't sign Williams, but it's notable that he's not played the entire season the last 2 years, and it's through off the field transgressions, all right? Gambling and PEDs. That's not great. All that said, I mean, this is a player, 1,000 yards last year on 58 catches. This is a guy that gets down the field. 7 touchdowns in 15 games for Detroit last year. So, what's the price? I don't think, to me, this is a player I want to trade one of those first 3 picks for. Certainly not the first round pick, and I'm reluctant to part with either of the seconds. Beyond that, if there's something you could put together, like I'm listening. He is kind of really exactly what I think the Bills offense needs is that player. The question is, you take a shot on a rookie with a rookie contract, use that second round pick I don't want to spend on this trade and draft a player that can give you maybe some of the same attributes. I probably end up, push comes to shove, doing that. Now, I don't know that the Bills will draft a receiver with one of those picks, but it's what I think I would rather do that than make this trade if the player ends up even moving. But, it seems likely. We've seen big-time receivers, way bigger names than Jameson Williams, get moved at the draft, so maybe it's something that could happen. John is next up here on WGR. Hi, John. Thanks for calling. You're on the air.
How you doing? I got a question for you about the receiver. You got an MVP quarterback, and we still don't have that breaking receiver to go the next step. Now, Brandon Beane screwed up last year by trading his picks, and he lost Ladd McConkey and he lost Worthy to get a guy Coleman who can't go through the separation. What are your thoughts on that? And I just heard the last question.
Okay, John, thanks for the call. They didn't miss out on it. They didn't draft McConkey. McConkey went after Coleman, right? He's like pick 34, maybe even. So they didn't lose out. They made a choice there. There are other guys that, they bailed out of draft spots, but Xavier Worthy, the most notable of them. Look, you could. Either one of the Iowa State guys might be interesting in that part of the draft. The guy from Utah State, Jalen Royals. Higgins, by the way, is the bigger of the 2 Iowa State guys. The other guy I'm thinking of, sorry, I got the wrong cursor out here, is Jalen Noel. I think they could answer what it is they're looking for. The question is, are we looking for the same things? It has been 5 years. They talk about wanting this speed element, but Beane is always right there with, track guy or whatever. Like, it's sort of, sounding as though, they're skeptical about the fast guys or something. Or certainly I understand why you'd be skeptical of someone who's a track guy and not a football player. But I worry that it's something that Beane sort of agrees with just because it's the path of lesser resistance. That they have had drafts every year since 2018 that Beane has been here, and they have yet to answer this speed element. They have yet to acquire it. And so that's a lot of picks and a lot of years. And I know every year's different, and the board and different grades, and, maybe they've got valid reasons. We'll see. Xavier Worthy had a nice year and very nice playoffs, and looks to be a piece that is going to be a problem moving forward. And the Bills passed. I don't know if the same track guy criticism would have been a reason why they passed, because Worthy thought the Bills liked him. That's come out through Tyler Dunn, I think, over the last few months here, that he thought the Bills were going to pick him, and then they traded the pick and let Kansas City get him. And so I don't know what kind of messages he was getting from certain elements of the Bills front office, but according to him, the player, he thought there was something brewing here with Buffalo, but they passed. So I don't know. I wonder if needing speed, stretching the defense vertically as well as horizontally is just something to say to get through the news conferences. Because They've drafted and acquired a lot of football players, and really very few of them, even in theory, were going to be an answer to this. I mean, I'm not saying they haven't had fast guys that were long shots to make the roster, right? And look, Deontay Hardy was this. They signed him, never really used him. And I don't know, he didn't warrant being used. Whatever happened, it didn't work. So I guess I want to give them that. They did try that. That was a speed element. But, he was also the return guy, and there was... I guess the first time that I see Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott acquire a receiver with a a premium type asset, either in free agency money-wise or in the draft with the level of pick it is, will be the first... You'll have shown me. I think I'm at show me. Show me you want speed, because their actions do not at all lead you to that conclusion. It is raining like it's angry out. Like it's angry raining.
It's violent.
Like it looks like it would hurt if you were outside in it.
Yes.
At spring, that happens.
It's spring, but this is really dampening my mood. I look outside and I'm like, what's that noise? Oh, it's,
it's the rain hitting the building. Yeah. We're in for a good week, though. We got that going for us.
Oh, yeah.
All right. 803-0550. If you're out at Dingus Day, man, hope you brought a poncho and maybe a backup. Backup poncho? I mean, I don't know, man. It's a tough one out there. 803-0550 is the number. If you want to talk about the Bills and the draft, we'll segue back into hockey, which is where we started today's